Welcome back to today's episode. We're diving into a very timely and important issue: sexual harassment. It's a hot topic in the media these days, but it's hard to define where the tipping point is, right? At what point does behavior cross the line?
That's right. The line seems blurry. There are so many cases where it's unclear whether something constitutes harassment or not. How do we discern this? Is there a fundamental way to look at it?
Well, it seems the core of this issue isn't just about penalties or punishing those who commit these crimes. There has to be a deeper resolution, right? We can't just rely on penalties. They're a temporary fix.
Exactly. And what's the real source of this problem? We can talk about criminal behavior all day, but isn't this a symptom of something bigger? It's as if society itself is fundamentally off track. When we live based on pure instinct, we see more of these issues arise, don't we?
Yes, it's like we keep blaming others, pointing fingers, and that cycle fuels even more negativity. When society lives in that space of blame, do you think it's inevitable that problems like sexual harassment surface more frequently?
It's inevitable. We're living in a condition where these problems are bound to come up. Slamming society and blaming the country won't help fix anything. It'll only keep the cycle going.
Right. Penalizing the acts after they happen doesn't address the root cause. It's just putting a temporary patch on a much bigger wound. To really make a difference, we need a different approach, one that's not about confronting the problem directly, but changing the framework from within.
So, what's that new approach? You mentioned a metaphor about solving problems from the east or west. Can you break that down?
Sure, to fix the top, you sometimes need to focus on the bottom. The idea is that you don't directly confront the core issue. Instead, you start from the opposite end. Work from the periphery, from different sides, and let the change build in ways that the core can't immediately see or block.
That sounds almost strategic, like a plan to work under the radar. But how does that play into the issue of sexual harassment? It's not like we can just ignore it or put it off.
True, we can't ignore it, but addressing it directly is a temporary solution. The key is in shifting the entire societal mindset. If we start living with humanistic values, caring about others rather than operating on animal instincts, that's when change can happen.
So, if we change how we live and start prioritizing others, you think that sexual harassment and other social problems will just vanish?
Not vanish, but become less prevalent. When people start caring about each other and living with respect and dignity, these behaviors have no fertile ground to grow. It's about creating a society where selfishness doesn't thrive.
That's a big shift. And how do we get people on board with this change? How do we start this ripple effect?
It starts small. Take a religious group, for example. If they focus on improving society in the right way, not just by giving material things, but by offering people meaningful work and purpose, that's the first step.
So it's not just about charity. It's about giving people the opportunity to contribute, to find their own purpose. And in doing so, society thrives economically as well.
Exactly. When we create value through meaningful work, the economy naturally benefits. It's about a cycle of good, where what's good for society ends up benefiting the individuals as well.
So it's not just about giving people handouts. It's about giving them the tools to build a life they can be proud of. That sounds like it could reshape society entirely.
And that's where the real solution lies. By creating the right kind of structure, an environment where individuals are empowered to contribute, society as a whole starts to shift. It's a long-term change that affects everything, including how we treat each other.
That's a fascinating perspective. And if we keep going in this direction, could this new mindset really change the way we deal with things like sexual harassment?
Absolutely. If we truly shift the paradigm, how we live, how we treat others, issues like sexual harassment will start to diminish. Not because we penalize more, but because we're creating a healthier, more respectful society from the ground up.
It all comes down to the kind of people we are and the values we hold. That's the foundation of the change we need to see.
Exactly. It's about living with dignity, respect, and care for others. That's the core of what needs to happen to tackle these problems. Everything else is just surface level.
I'm excited to see how this discussion develops. It sounds like we're just getting started with this transformation.
Definitely. We'll dive deeper into this in the next episode, exploring how we can build on these ideas and truly shift society. Stay tuned for more.
Can't wait for it!